Okay, so I wanted to give you just a quick overview of Microsoft Excel. Should point out a few of the key tools that we're going to be using throughout the semester, and just kind of give you a little bit of a tutorial so that everybody's on the same page when it comes to being able to work with Microsoft Excel. So I've gone into my Start menu and opened up a Microsoft Excel workbook. I'm going to go ahead, and the very first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to save this. So I'm going to use Save As, and I'm going to choose somewhere on my computer to save this. And in your case, you're probably going to want to go ahead and save that to a memory stick. And you don't take for granted that you're working on these machines here at the college and that it's always going to save for you. Make sure you're constantly saving throughout the process, and you're going to be a lot happier after a couple hours of work and all of a sudden something hangs up. So make sure you're saving frequently. I'm just going to go ahead and save this to my desktop. I'm going to call this AG3 Lab 1 Woodard. Now you're going to put your last name there. If you know that you have a last name that's pretty common, you might want to put your first initial and your last name. So I'm going to go ahead and save that to my desktop, and I'm ready to go. So as we know with Microsoft Excel, Excel is set up into columns across the top and rows along the side. An example is at this location right here. You can see right there is B3, and it's just kind of an X and Y coordinates going to be able to represent certain items. Across the top, obviously, we just saw the file menu, things to open new, start a new worksheet, a new workbook, open current existing workbooks. In the end, you can save all this as an Adobe PDF, which is a great way to send something if you want to make sure that people aren't going to be able to change that. It can still be done, but it won't be as easy. Obviously, we print, share, and export from here as well. But the big thing that we want to look at is with these menus up here in the ribbon, the home ribbon is going to be a lot to do with our formatting of the cells, maybe some of the calculations that we're going to do, and we're going to go through those individually. The second one is insert, and that's just exactly what it is. We're going to insert a picture, or we're going to insert maybe some different types of charts, some different filters that we can use, maybe some symbols. So there's going to be times where you need to use certain symbols. You can find them here, so you don't have to know the keystrokes for those. Page layout's going to be really important because that's going to set up our margins. It's going to tell us are we going to be landscape or portrait. Our print area we can designate so we don't have to print something that's really, really big if we're only going to be focusing on a small part of that worksheet. We can insert breaks, page breaks, and those types of things. So this page layout is obviously that it's set for layouts. Now we can do some themes similar to what you might find on PowerPoint and some of the other software, but for right now we're just going to be using this mainly as a computational tool. Formulas are really important because we can do some things with auto summation and taking a look at maybe some different financial aspects that we can use. We're not going to be using a lot of those. I'm going to have you guys putting those formulas in yourselves, but those are obviously all there to be used as well a little bit later on once you're more comfortable with Excel. From a data standpoint, this is where we're going to be pulling data in, sending data out. We can do things like sorting from this point, and I'll show you guys when we get into inventory systems. We're going to talk about sorting, filtering out some information so that you have, if you have a tremendously large database, you can filter some of that out, and then as we go through, so in some cases we might do some totals or some grouping of certain cells. A big thing is going to be subtotals, so you're going to be able to find a column of numbers and have a subtotal that's going to be off to the side of that as well. We're really, other than review, your final review before you turn it in, you're going to be, obviously spell check is in here. You can also hit spell check up on this top menu. These are ones that we use, undo and redo and save. I like to keep spell check up here not the greatest speller, and obviously you don't want to produce anything that's misspelled, so you're going to check that at the end. And then we'll talk about protecting workbooks later on, because there can be certain formulas that you might put in place that you just want protected, so that people can't change those. And then we're going to talk about sharing as well. View is really big, because as we switch through the view menu, you can see what the page, obviously I don't have anything in here yet, so this will show how the pages are going to break out and how they're going to print. Page layout view actually gives you still the columns and the cells, but it's more set up like what the pages are going to actually look like. And then you can also adjust some custom views as well. And then finally, Acrobat, I have that installed on this so that I can create those PDF files rather quickly. So that's just kind of a quick overview. The next video is going to be showing you how to set up a lab form in Excel, and what my expectations are for that.